Hello, I'm Jo and I work with adults who speak English as a second plus language. And in today's video, I'm going to do some yapping. Have you heard of yapping? I hadn't heard of yapping until quite recently, but let me just tell you what Google says about yapping in case you hadn't heard of it. So, a yapping video is an unscripted, casual social media clip where a creator hits record and talks directly to the camera about a random topic, personal story, or hot take. The style feels like an organic FaceTime call with a friend rather than a polished, heavily edited production. So, if you've been on my channel before, you may have noticed that I haven't uploaded a video in at least 2 months, if not 3 months. I've been focusing on building my Substack community and publication over these last few months, and I've been neglecting YouTube. I've got a mental block when it comes to putting out my next YouTube video. Every time I go to sit down and make a video, something else comes up. I think, I need to make a phone call, I need to do this, or I need to do that. And I make excuses. I guess it's kind of procrastination. Anyway, yapping seemed like it might be a good way to get me back into the habit of making YouTube videos, and maybe a good opportunity for me to tell you what I've been up to over the last couple of months while I haven't been here, and in the process to give you a little bit of gentle English listening practice. If that sounds like the kind of thing you might like, then stay with me. If you're wanting something more structured, then probably not the best video for you. So let's start with Substack. I made another video. I think my last video was about Substack. And if you haven't come across it before, I'll put a link up here. And in this video, I explain what Substack is all about and why I love it so much. On there, I'm managing to kind of mix publication where I'm publishing articles and newsletters and podcast episodes, but also building a community where we meet on Zoom twice a month. And what else do? We have a Telegram group where we can leave voice notes for each other, that kind of thing. So I have been throwing myself into this whole Substack thing. And it's different to YouTube. YouTube, I don't know if you've ever made a YouTube video, but it requires quite a lot of discipline. As does Substack, but Substack feels more within my comfort zone. Sometimes YouTube still feels a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie, I don't feel entirely confident talking to the camera still. But it's a nice way of connecting with learners, and it's a nice way of pushing myself a little bit. So what has your summer been like? My summer has been hot. I think across most of Europe we've had ridiculous temperatures this year. Some days it's been up to 38 degrees, which is, I think it's record-breaking temperatures here. I went on holiday with all my family for a week back in July, and also I took my son and my daughter to Santorini in Greece for a week to celebrate their 18th, and that's my daughter, and my son's 21st birthdays. Because they both had these kind of big birthdays this year, I wanted to do something a bit special to celebrate, and we had a lovely time. I don't know if you've been to Santorini. I definitely recommend it, but I think all of the Greek islands are worth visiting. Santorini has a bit of a reputation for being a bit expensive, and it is expensive. And it's one of those places that I think people go to get nice photos for Instagram, that kind of thing. But we stayed at a lovely hotel. We had some great Greek food, and most importantly, we spent some quality time together, which was great. Then after Santorini, my family, my extended family, every year we go to a place in Cornwall in the southwest of England called St Ives. So we spent a week there together in a fisherman's cottage, the same one that we've been to a few times before. And the weather was incredible, obviously, because of the heat wave. So we spent a huge amount of time on the beach and relaxing and just chilling out. And it was absolutely what I needed. By the way, are you getting the idea about what yapping is? Like I explained a little bit at the beginning, it's when I'm talking without a script, a little bit like I would to a friend. So when I got back from holiday, I launched myself back into my one-to-one private conversation sessions that I do with students. Fortunately, not everybody had gone on holiday. There were still people around who wanted to work with me. So I've been ticking over, working with students all over the summer. And also, it's been quite a big summer for my kids. Like I said, my daughter turned 18 earlier in the year, and my son is 21 now. Oh, yeah, he was 21 last week. As an 18-year-old, my daughter sat her A-level exams back in May and June, and these are really important exams within the education system here. You need to sit them. There's various pathways to getting into university, but A levels is one of the main ways to get into university. And your grades need to be good enough to get you into the university of your choice. And fortunately, Tilly, my daughter, did brilliantly in her A levels and she got her university place. She secured that. So she's absolutely delighted. Although I think, well, she is going to take a gap year between now and going to university. So she wants to try and do some work between then and a little bit of travel. So yeah, there was the anticipation of her getting her exam results and the uncertainty about what that would mean for her. And more recently, there's been celebrations for my son's 21st birthday, which have been lovely. But it really does feel like they're both adults, they are both adults now and leading very sort of independent lives. But we're also getting to spend some good time together over the summer. So that's great. It's strange because when I had children, I imagined when they would be this age, I would stop worrying about them. But I think as they get older, I just worry about them more, but in different ways. I worry about their future. It's definitely a difficult time, I think, all across the world to be a young person. But they both seem to take things in their stride, which means they just get on with it. And yeah, I think, well, fingers crossed, they'll both be okay. So now it's the middle of August and we're fast approaching September. And I think a lot of us are thinking about getting back into some sort of routine. On Substack, I've been taking it month by month and giving each month a theme and creating content and community around a new theme every month. August's theme was slowing down, which I thought was quite appropriate for August, seeing as a lot of people take a bit of a break during August and switch off a little bit. I've already thought about what I'd like to do in September, and I've tentatively given September the theme of fresh starts. I don't know about you, but September for me will always be the start of the academic year, even though I'm not in academia now. I see September as being a time for buying notebooks and pens and preparing myself for the academic year, even though, I'm not studying at the moment. So a lot of people that I work with, I think, have a similar mindset about coming back, after a summer break and preparing themselves, getting ready for this sort of fresh start. So on Substack, we're going to be focusing on this subject all over the whole of September. And looking at different materials, talking about, how we get into the right frame of mind, that kind of thing for the month. But I thought what we do is also have a look at that here on YouTube. Maybe dip into subjects like habits, which can help establish routines and help us kind of prepare for the rest of the year. I can't believe it's almost September. This year seems to have gone by in a flash, but I'm determined to get back into making YouTube videos at least once a week again. I think it's good for me, that sort of discipline. And like I said, it's really good for me to really push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. I don't know if I can yap anymore. I think I might have come to the end, but it's lovely to reconnect with you. If you're interested in working with me in privately in one-to-one sessions, then I'll put a link in the description below. You can see what it's all about, or you can send me an email. Or if you're interested in the Substack community, then again, I'll put a link to that below and you can discover more about that. Substack is relatively new, and it's a slower paced sort of social media. I think that's why I enjoy it. There's a lot of writers on there. There's a lot of people on there who are into books and art and that kind of thing. And it feels like a sort of natural home to me. But yeah, it's worth checking out. Okay, in the comments, tell me if you had a good summer and what your plans are for September. I'd love to hear from you. And make sure you come back soon. You could put notification bell on so you'll be notified when I next put up a video, which will be next week because I'm determined to stick to it. All right then, it's lovely to see you. Take care and I'll see you again soon. Bye.